Let's go with Stan and Neil Show. Stan and Neil Show.
What's up? Welcome to another edition of the Stan and Neil Show. This is episode number 22. We're back from the holiday weekend. Neil, how was Thanksgiving?
Stan, Thanksgiving was memorable for several reasons. One, me and the wife were supposed to go to Hawaii, but those loyal followers know that Pickle, the Wonder Dog, has been struggling. She's 15, 16 years old. She's at that point in her life where, she's getting ready to move on. And we just felt that it wouldn't be, what is that noise in my ear? Anyhow, we felt like it wouldn't be right to leave her at home, and we couldn't take her to Hawaii with us, so we postponed the Hawaii trip, and instead we spent a lot of quality time with the animals, and then Stephanie and I would go out each night, find different restaurants, and Stephanie had taken the week off, so we kind of looked at it as like date night each week, and
Okay.
So we had a wonderful family time, and Pickle the Wonder Dog appreciated that we were here for her every night.
The staycation, vacation.
There you go. Yeah. What about yourself? What did you do?
I went to Chicago with family, my wife's family.
Okay.
Her sister's in Chicago. Her mom was with us. And I tell you what, we narrowly missed that snowstorm that hit.
Yeah.
We got out just before it happened. I might still be there if we hadn't missed that snowstorm, because that was crazy. So those of you, anybody tuning in the Midwest, man, I know what you went through with that snow, but it was great. Ate a lot. I tell you what, man, we got this turkey from this company called Uncle Ray's Turkey. Jameis Winston actually gave him a shout out, but I didn't know. My wife had already been on it. But it's a fried turkey, and you can order it online and they'll ship it to you. Man, it was fantastic. I'm still thinking about that turkey, and the only knock on turkey, like I'm big on gravy. I think gravy's the MVP of the Thanksgiving table because gravy makes everything better. Like it makes mashed
100%.
potatoes better. It makes the stuffing better. It makes the turkey better. But this turkey was so moist and tender, it didn't even need gravy. It was that good.
I might have to get Uncle Ray's address for you for next year, because we went to a little local restaurant, just got a little couple plates to go. Very good. Extra gravy. Extra gravy, to your point, gravy on any.
You're on the gravy train too.
Man, I'd wash my hair with gravy, so I love gravy so much. And yeah, we had a wonderful little time together, watched a little football, and it's, they call it Thanksgiving. You give thanks for all the blessings you have. And I've had a lifetime full of them already, and so I'm just appreciative to be able to enjoy the day and understand its relevance.
All right, this reminder here: if you're joining us here on Twitch, we certainly appreciate it. Pardon me here. Become a subscriber, 3 levels: rookie, all pro, and Hall of Famer. Also, if you ever miss a live show on Twitch, we're also available on YouTube. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much wherever you get podcasts, we're there, and it's available to you. So we appreciate those of you joining us live on Twitch, but also remember, if you ever miss us live on Twitch, we're everywhere else too. All right.
You know what? Hey, started. We got to share. So, like, you just had the choking thing right there.
Yeah.
And it made me flash back to when we were in the studio.
Oh boy.
So the folks at home, whenever they would turn the air conditioning on in the studio, Stan's throat would dry up immediately and just like
something about,
and man, my nose would start running. It would be so cold in that studio. Oh,
it's something about like there's a million light fixtures and everything in a television studio, and I don't think there's any way to adequately clean that of dust. Okay, I don't know how you would even get up there and clean it. And because there's just railings and lights and all kind of stuff. And then the air conditioning comes on and that stuff starts blowing around, and it gets me every time. Like I hear it and I'm like, oh boy. So our AC just came on in here too. We don't have the dust problem though. But anyway.
No.
All
right. I had to share that.
There you go. All right. Week 14 of the NFL. Seahawks 9-3 at Atlanta to take on the 4-8 Falcons. Seahawks favored by 7 in that game. They met last year. Seahawks beat Atlanta 34-14 in Atlanta. So I don't see much changing about that this year. I think, this time of year you start getting teams who are like playing for everything, like the Seahawks, still in contention for the number 1 seed in the NFC, and you got a Falcons team that maybe already thinking Cancun or Cabo or wherever. So because I
Yeah,
mean,
or
look, if you think about it, man, football is an emotional, physical game. Okay, where you have to show up ready to play, motivated. Okay. And if you're still, I mean, if you're 9-3, okay, you're thinking, hey, man, we could get the number 1 seed, possibly get a bye in the first round, and then we just got to win 2 games to get to a Super Bowl. Okay. You got that in the back of your mind. I just think there's a little bit more oomph to your preparation, a little bit more oomph to your focus, to your willingness to just lay it all out there. Whereas you're 4-8, okay? Especially if you're a good player. I'm not saying anybody's going to lay down on the job because these guys are all professionals, okay? But they're also human beings, okay? And if if you have to go the extra mile, you want to go the extra mile for something. And I think some of these teams that are in contention, not only are they better teams than the teams with losing records that they're facing, they got a whole lot more to play for. So unless Bijan Robinson goes nuts for Atlanta, I think Seattle is gonna make a statement this weekend. What do you got?
yeah, the Falcons are dead man walking, but they're dud. But Sam Darnold has been dud like lately, which is not dude like, dud like.
Yeah.
He needs to bring his A game to Atlanta. He can't rely on Legion of Boom Part 2 to pick up the slack. The Falcons defense, they got Jeff Ulbrich, played at University of Hawaii, was the Jets interim coach for a little while. He's a tough-minded dude. He's going to coach him up. They got the 3rd most sacks in the NFL. Darnold has got to get the ball to his playmakers, his receivers, Smith Njigba,
And Jigba.
Cooper Kupp. That's what I said. Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, he's got to get it
down.
going, man. I thought he was going to go there with Clint Kubiak's offense and be what he was last year with the Saints, but he hasn't delivered a whole lot of big plays so far. But when they get him going, man,
slump, but
he's a burner.
Yeah, they Shaheed. Yeah, they got to get Darnold going. Darnold's got to show some consistency, or all of a sudden you're talking about we got New York Jet Darnold again instead of a Viking Darnold again, or 49er Darnold again. Seattle.
I saw somebody. He's either Sam Darnold or he's Same Darnold.
Yeah,
and the Same Darnold is Jets Same Darnold. Here's
and by the way, while we're on Seattle, Seattle, I just want to bring up that Aaron Judge had an MVP season, but Cal Raleigh had a historic season.
Let it go. It's over.
I can't.
Let it go. Let it go. Hey, catchers and pitchers will be reporting before you know it. He can get cranking on another one. So look, something to watch. The Seahawks defense, I think Atlanta's only chance to win is to try to get Bijan Robinson going. Problem is, Seahawks defense, number 2 rushing defense in the NFL. They're not gonna be able to get it going. And so I think Seattle is going to get right this game, and we'll be saying, "Oh wow, Seahawks look great."
I mean, if you want to be taken seriously and you're Seattle, you have to win this game.
I mean, yeah,
Period.
and I think you gotta put it on them.
Yeah,
Get your mojo back. How about the Chicago Bears?
Wow.
As I mentioned, I was in Chicago over Thanksgiving, and I mean they've had the Bulls with Michael Jordan, okay, and it's been a while since the White Sox won the World Series, but the White Sox have won the World Series relatively recently. They're terrible now, but they won relatively recently. Cubs ended the drought. The Blackhawks are the Blackhawks, but I mean, it's a Bears town, man. It is a bear. I landed in the airport, and everywhere I looked, people just had Bears stuff on. I mean, everywhere. I mean, it's a Bears town no matter what, and they are really, really excited in Chicago, and you can't blame them. I mean, they've been trying to figure it out. especially at quarterback. And now, they're leading that division. And if you went into this season saying that you thought the Bears were going to win the NFC North, you're lying. Or you're from Chicago. One of the two, and hopelessly optimistic. But the Bears, man, they look like this could be a really, really special season. A lot of momentum.
Yeah, there's a little library down close by where I live called the High Low, and it's a Chicago Bears library, and they specialize in having all Chicago Bears literature, and it's a fun little place to go to if you're a Bears fan or if you're a fan of their Smash Burger. So it's a library that also serves food.
Or if you just
Bears
enjoy
have
reading.
Thank you. The Bears have won 5 straight, 9 of 10. This is Lombardi and Hallis. This is Nitschke and Butkus. This is the oldest rivalry in the NFL, and the division leads at stake, and a potential 1 seed in the NFC for the winner. I mean, this is huge. I mean, we're talking about how big the Dallas-Detroit game is. Well, that's big because the loser's probably out. But these are 2 winners. The Lions have given up the mantle this season. When most people thought, would they go like 15-2 last year or something like that? I'm just going off memory. But I don't know. God, there you go. This is going to be a great game. Packers are favored by 6.5. That seems like too many. They're coming off the win against the Lions. You're still trying to figure out. You always look at a team schedule and go, like how did Green Bay lose to the Browns?
Right.
And that Green Bay fans are like, how did we lose to the Browns? Because if we did, we'd be 9-2-1, and that would be better than 8-3-1. The Bears ran the ball down the Eagles' throats. 280 yards on the ground. Can they do that against the Packers, or will they force Caleb Williams to throw the ball? And how about the coach, Ben Johnson? He says on Monday, do you see what he said? We are winning despite our passing game. So he really threw it down on his quarterback to pick it up and make something happen offensively instead of just counting on the running backs to get you out of a hole. So this is going to be the must-see game right here.
Okay. Now, I will ask you, what do you think is the most reliable stat in football in terms of determining winning or losing games? There's rushing stats. What is the one stat that is most determinant in the NFL?
Aside from final score?
Aside from final score.
Yards on first and second down.
No.
Damn it.
Turnover margin.
That was my next guess.
Okay. Turnover margin. Okay. The Bears are plus 17 in turnover margin. Plus 17. Okay. Behind them, there's 3 teams. The Rams, the Bucks, and the Texans are all plus 9. They have almost doubled up the next teams behind them in turnover margin. That defense has been optimistic, and it's the secondary and the coverage in general. They got 17 interceptions. That's 5 more than the Rams, who are second with 12. So,
wow.
That's the kind of thing that wins football games, man. When you take the ball away and you don't give it away, create extra possessions. Look, the Bears for the last several years, I believe it was 11 years in a row, or 11 games in a row, they just been getting smacked around by Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, they just been getting smacked around. Last year, they won at Green Bay at the end of the season. And now I think, they're starting to bow up in that division like, hey, this is our division. They haven't had a winning season since 2018, the Bears. But they're really excited. I think Johnson, if you look at what's happening in Detroit with Dan Campbell having to start calling the plays, and Ben Johnson, being their previous offensive coordinator, it's easy to see how one team's loss is the other team's gain, because he has been fantastic. And look, I think Caleb Williams is only going to get better. So they got 26 takeaways. They're plus 17 in turnover margin. They have 26 takeaways, and that's 4 more than any other team. So if they keep that going, they're gonna be hard to deal with. I mean, Dennis Allen, former Saints head coach, is now their defensive coordinator, and
Right.
Ben Johnson says he's the reason why they've been so good. He believes in pressure defense. You play man to man, try to rush the passer, and it's been working for the Bears. So I think.
And go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm on the chat here,
Okay.
chatting it up with our friend Anders J says, "I'm not sure I trust the Bears, but the new coach seems to be getting them right." And then Northside 5, he just writes Bears, and then Kilbasa Kid writes gravy, which I don't know if he's talking about the Packers Bears or is he talking about gravy. So
He's talking about gravy, man. Gravy.
We're
Matter
not
of fact,
talking about. We're not talking about mashed potatoes. We're talking about
We're
gravy.
talking about gravy.
Okay, we're not even talking about mashed potatoes.
So now let's move on to the Eagles and Chargers. Are we done with the Bears?
Okay.
The Bears and the Packers?
It's just no. It's I think if Jordan Love comes out of this one and gives the Packers that, Jordan Love could be getting some taste for MVP of the NFC.
Okay. All right.
I think he could. He's been doing some good things.
Yeah, no, look,
And Caleb Williams.
I think the Packers are another team. My theory is head coach and quarterback. With
Yeah.
LaFleur and Jordan Love, I think they got it figured out too for the long haul. And I think they're gonna be right up there for years to come.
What do you think that about Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams?
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams is naturally gifted, I believe, but he has to continue learning how to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
Sometimes his improvisational skills are fantastic. When plays break down, I mean, he's, but you don't want to be on a steady diet of that because it can create big plays down the field, but it can also create big losses. When you're running around back there, you're taking 7-8 yard losses on sacks. It can just derail a drive, and then you got to try to do it on second and third, so he just needs to, rely on those skills when plays break down, but not feel like he has to hit a home run as often as it seems like sometimes he needs to try to hit a home run. So, but I think, I was having a discussion with someone, I can't remember who it was, talking about whether that can be learned or whether that's just who a guy is. Like a quarterback, can a quarterback learn to just take the snap, feel that 2.5 to 3 seconds, get rid of the ball? Or if their tendency is to just, stay back there thinking they have more time than they have and then start running around back there trying to get things done. If that's who you are, that's who you are, and I think that's also going to be the challenge for Shedeur Sanders is, look, every play doesn't have to be you scramble around there and then you make some great play down the field. If it's a rollout, it's a rollout. Okay, but get the ball out of your hands and let it go, or commit to running it, run, slide, or get out of bounds so you don't take a lot of big hits. But I think he's going to be fine because I think his natural ability, he's got the things that you can't teach. He just has to work on the things that you can. And he's lucky to have Ben Johnson there, who I think is, he's pushing buttons. Like you said, he's pushing his button this week, saying, he's got to go out there and play. On the road in Green Bay, I'm betting it's going to be cold. I'm not have not checked the forecast, but it's December in Green Bay. My money's on cold.
Remember when you and I went there? It was Falcons, Packers, and we tried to do the Lambeau leap and didn't realize, man, that's hard. It's hard to get up there and grab it. Yeah, that was cold.
Is that on YouTube
fun,
somewhere? We should pull that up and show it one of these weeks.
It might be on BoobTube because we look like a couple boobs doing it.
Yeah, I saw that wall and I took off running. I said, okay, I'm not going to make this. I'll do the best I can, but I got about 10 feet from the wall. I'm like, there's no chance. There's no chance.
Yeah.
Even with a running start, I don't have that
I got
kind of
one
work.
hand up top and then fell on my ass, I think.
I just remember how cold it was, man. It was cold there. And we did the whole show from there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did the on the field. Yeah.
Yeah.
You, me,
show.
Steve Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good fun.
All right. Eagles and Chargers.
Yeah. How many Philly fans show up at SoFi?
There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, every home game's a road game for the Chargers almost, especially like Eagles fans. There's a lot of Eagles fans. I don't know if some of them are Johnny come latelys or just, Philadelphia's a city with a lot of people and not all of them live in Philly. So
Yeah. How about the whoever they are, and I'm going to say they're Philly fans, but
I know where you're going.
Doing a disservice to Philly fans. They're egging the offensive coordinator's house.
I mean, like, how stupid is that?
What are we in junior high? You couldn't TP it, so you decided to egg it. I mean, come on. It's just, first of all, they won a Super Bowl. It's just the people. I mean, if there's aliens, whether you believe that or not, they must be looking down and going, man, there's some stupid people on that planet. What are they doing? They're throwing eggs at a guy's house. Why? Because they lost the football game.
Because they don't like the offensive game plan. They don't like the offensive game plan. I'm coming to egg your house. But now, first of all, you have to find his address. You have to go through, like, you have the time to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to find this guy's address. And during the time that you're taking to do this, it never occurs to you that this is a dumb idea. I probably should just scrap this. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like this was spontaneous. It was, we got to find out where he lives. We have to drive there or catch the bus or the train or however you get there. And then you go and egg the guy's house. Like, it's time for some perspective that it's a football game.
Yeah, you showed him. You egged his house. Way to go.
That's good. When he's sitting down putting together the game plan for the Chargers, he's going to be like, man, I don't want it. They may come back with tomatoes next week. I better get this together. God. I mean, what kind of foolishness is that? Like, I think, and I posted about it on my X feed at Stan Verrett if you want to follow along. I posted about it, and people are like, hey man, there's more serious things happening in crime. I'm like, right, but two things can be true at the same time, because I said they should lock these people up, at least give them, I don't know, 3 days in jail, 4 days in jail, just something to keep this from getting dangerous. Okay, because, you egg your house, it's annoying, but it's not dangerous, okay? But the next fool that comes along may say, okay, I'm gonna show him, I'm gonna go accost him in public. When he's out to dinner or something. Just stop this stupidity now. It's a football game. Grow up.
Yeah, at least put their pictures on the internet so people go like, wow, that's what dumb looks like.
You need a little time in a cell. Get your priorities in order. And they can put you in a cell next to somebody who's done something more serious. For the people who say, it's not serious enough to put somebody in jail. Yes, it is. Put them in jail. At least for a night or a couple nights.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Philly's currently the 3rd seed. The Chargers are the 5 seed, NFC, AFC, respectively. Chargers coming off the win over the Raiders. Justin Herbert, it looks like he's got a broken hand on his non-throwing arm. He says he's going to play. Huge loss for the Eagles as Jalen Carter is out with he's got shoulder injuries. The Chargers got a beat-up offensive line, so they get a break not having to deal with Carter. The defense has been beating up the opposition. Chargers defense is pretty good. They're getting Amari and Hampton back to run the football. The Eagles are rested. They have had 10 days off since the Bear debacle. Eagles have been a solid road favorite. I think they've won 10 of their last 12 as a road favorite. Again, just going off memory. Don't have it written down. My head really is this big. There's got to be something up there going. It's gonna be an interesting game because the Eagles are struggling, and the Chargers are kind of like, nobody's really paying attention to the Chargers. They're like, and the Chargers. But they got a pretty good coach, pretty good quarterback. Hello, and that should be a good game down the block from where Stan and I live.
So here's my question about this. Okay, so Herbert, non-throwing hand. Okay, so you can't put him under center, right?
No, he's got to be in the shotgun.
Got to be in the shotgun because that ball getting slammed into his hand. Okay,
yeah.
So I don't know if that favors one team or the other, but if you're the defensive coordinator for the for the Eagles, at least you know that he's going to be in the shotgun every play. So you build your game plan around we're going to have to deal with the shotgun pretty much every play. The other thing is the Eagles' pass game, okay, that led to the exit on the offensive coordinator's house, okay? The Chargers' defense is number 3 overall in the NFL. Their pass defense is number 2 in the NFL, okay? A.J. Brown had a great first half last week, and then pretty much that was it. But dealing with Derwin James and those guys back there, it's going to be interesting to see if Philly doesn't if Philly can throw the ball against that Chargers defense, or whether it's going to be Denver omelets at his at his house next week.
It all comes back to the eggs.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to throw the ball against LA.
The offense has been scrambled and really a rotten egg. So how we go?
All right, we'll see. But yeah, that injury to Herbert, didn't practice Wednesday, did practice on Thursday. I don't know what he did today.
Yeah, but, I mean, listen, if you're the Eagles, you're going to target that hand. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
You know, anytime you can slap at it, you're going to. And that's tough. The backup, for all you wondering, again, don't have it written down, Trey Lance is your Chargers backup.
Yeah, former 49ers legend.
Former South Dakota State grade, I believe.
Yeah,
one of the Dakotas.
Off the dome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Let's go AFC now.
Yeah.
We got Broncos.
Patriots or Broncos. Who's the best team in the AFC? Patriots or Broncos or somebody else?
I'm leaning Patriots right now. Because I think they're more balanced offense and defense. Denver's offense just kind of scares me sometimes, and which is crazy for a Sean Payton team, to think about their offense, but they scare me sometimes. Knicks is kind of, sometimes, but how I feel about Drake May. I'm on record from, I believe it was week 2 or week 3, saw Drake May live against the Saints, and I'm like, this dude is the real deal. Stands in the pocket, works through his progressions, got a good thing going with Stephon Diggs. And then, Tennessee's looking at Vrabel saying, what did we do? What did we do? He's back in his comfort zone there in Foxborough. And I think right now the Patriots are arriving ahead of schedule. And I think they're the best team in the AFC. Not by much, but I think Denver's right there. Defensively, I give Denver the edge. But when you factor in offense and defense, I'm giving the Patriots the edge.
Well, being that I can't say I think the Patriots, because I've already gone on record as saying I'm unable to do that, just from all the Patriot brainwashing I went through back in Connecticut. You know who I like in that on that side of the fence?
Who?
The Houston Texans. I think they're on the come right now. I think they're going to be a team to watch out for.
That defense, man. That Patriots. Defense is frightening.
Yeah, and CJ's getting it going. New England, by the way, has the bye this weekend so they'll win that one. They've won 10 in a row. The Broncos play at Vegas, and they should win their 10th game. But to Stan's point, last 4 wins by 3 or fewer points with comeback wins over the Jets, Giants, Raiders, and Commanders. Those 4 teams have 10 wins combined. And speaking of the Raiders, you know who I saw the other day, Stan, walking down the street in Manhattan Beach?
Who?
Chip Kelly.
Okay. You guys.
Who was the Raiders offensive coordinator until like a week ago. And I saw him coming. Well, I haven't seen him in forever. And I wasn't quite sure it was him. And I go, Coach. And he turned around and I love Chip Kelly, man, for what he did for Oregon.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm just name dropping, I guess, really. I'm dropping that I hung out at Manhattan Beach, which, you need a pass to go there. And, unless you went to USC and just, it felt good to see, Chip Kelly.
Yeah, you know, I had
I'm
a I had
sharing.
a I had a similar experience earlier this week. You made me think of it just now. I was going to get a haircut. Shout out Johnny
All right.
Fades, always keeps me tight.
Oh, dude, he's
Um,
doing a great job.
yeah, but I'm walking to the barber shop and there's Vlade Divac just sitting at a coffee
Really?
shop, chilling, having some coffee. And I look and I'm like, it's Vlade Divac. And I said, hey, Vlade, how's it going? He looked up, hey, how's it going? You know, and then went back to read his newspaper, drinking his
All
coffee.
right.
So I don't want to
All
bug
right.
him, you know.
Probably
But
going,
yeah,
hey,
so it's LA Chronicles.
okay.
You know what I mean? Just kind of how it is here in LA, walking around.
Maybe we'll do another podcast. Just we'll talk sports on one, and we'll call the other one L.A. Chronicles, and we'll just talk about things we've done in L.A. and people we've seen. There's a lot of big celebrities out here, folks.
Did I ever tell you my mistaken celebrity story?
No, I've got a lot of those though.
Okay, all right. I'll go first, and you can tell yours. Story time. All right.
There we go.
So I'm not going to say I was in a library. I was in a bar. Okay, I was in a bar because
Okay.
it's central
All
to
right.
the story. So I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm by myself, and it's a bar down the street from my house. Okay, so there's a woman down the bar who keeps leaning down the bar, and she keeps looking at me, and she keeps looking at me. You know, and you know, as you know, on our Sports Center days, we were big television stars, so this kind of thing happens all the time. You know, so I'm not
Right.
paying a whole lot of
Right.
attention to it, but she just keeps doing it. Okay, so then finally, it gets the best of her. I don't know if it was liquid courage or what, but she gets up and she walks down and she comes over and she says hello. She's like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm a really big fan of yours and I've watched everything you've been in. And I'm like, okay, thank you. But everything I've been in, what like Sports Center and other ESPN shows? She's like, ESPN? She's like, you're not Cuba Gooding Jr.? And I'm like, no, sorry, I'm not Cuba Gooding. I'm Stan Verrett. I'm on ESPN. You should check me out sometimes. Oh, okay. So then she walks down to where she was sitting, and all I hear from down the bar is, I told you that wasn't him.
Show me the money. That's what you
That's
should
what I
have
should've
shouted
said. I
out.
said, show
Of
me
it.
the money. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. All right, your
Yeah.
turn.
Wait, Blake Bethune says y'all are awesome. You can do
Thank you,
that
Blake.
anytime. And New Jersey to Alaska says Vladdy D Flop.
Oh, must be a Laker fan.
That's not.
Got to be a Laker
That's
fan.
not nice. You see, Eldon Campbell passed away, 57 years
I'm
old,
sorry to see
former
that.
Laker.
Yep.
Easy E, they called him. Byron Scott said a lot of nice things about him. So did Magic. I remember seeing Eldon Campbell play as a freshman for Clemson, playing Hawaii Pacific University in McKinley Gym back in like 96, 97. And Clemson had Horace Grant and Eldon Campbell.
Yeah.
Hawaii Pacific didn't have anybody quite that talented. It was
Right.
it was a one-way game. So we were at a Mad Men rap party. This is when I got invited to such things. And God, I miss that. Not really. And so I took my wife and I'm like, hey man, there's John Hamm. And
Okay.
she's like, wow, you are an idiot. I mean, that's not John Hamm. I'm like, no, I bet you that's John Hamm. And
Oh no.
and
Oh no.
sure as hell, I went up and it was not John Hamm. No.
The guy think you're some kind of stalker or something?
Oh yeah, he just looked at me like, yo, you've been hitting the library a little hard here today, huh, fella?
You've been reading a lot.
I've been reading way too much. Put those pamphlets down, son. Yeah.
All right, where were we? Where were we?
I think we're at Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Both teams are 6
Very,
and
very
6.
interesting.
Winner's sole possession of first place in their division. How about, did you see Aaron Rodgers, Dr. Rodgers, calling out his receivers this week, saying, "Hey man, these guys aren't watching film."
Yeah, he's not quite ready to go relax.
Yeah.
But never a good thing when you throw your receivers under the bus.
Yeah, and a lot of Mike Tomlin talk. I'm hearing more Mike Tomlin talk than Lamar Jackson talk. And if you're a Steeler fan, you want to be concentrating more on Lamar Jackson than Mike Tomlin's future, Ben Roethlisberger coming out and saying maybe he needs to go. I think James Harrison said the same thing. New voice, new face. So it's a lot of drama off the line of scrimmage. On the line of scrimmage, I mean, the Ravens' offense has not been in a groove. Lamar Jackson, he just does not. He's missing
look right.
something.
He doesn't.
No,
look right.
he's not. He's not explosive running. He can't, he's not, he's not throwing the tight spiral on a dime like he used to. They got to give the ball to Derrick Henry. See if the Steelers, if the Steelers sell out for the run, then Lamar's got to make the throws. But I mean, the Steelers defense got embarrassed by the Bills rushing attack last week, and if they can stop Henry and Lamar can't pick up the slack, the Steelers could pull the upset. But I think you'd be hard. And these are two teams that are hard to read, and one of them is going to be first place in the division when it's over with.
I mean, this is practically a playoff game too, like we said earlier, like tonight's game, Dallas and in Detroit. I mean, Pittsburgh. I just don't know about their offense, man. Derrick Henry torched them last season. 348 yards in the final two meetings with Pittsburgh last season, but he's averaging only 78 yards per game this season. It's funny, like he's not having a good season. Neither is Saquon Barkley. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is far and away, I think, the best running back in the NFL right now. And it's just kind of interesting to see those two guys, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. I mean, but maybe this is when they'll hitch their wagons to them. It's getting cold. Can't throw the ball as much. Stakes are high. Maybe this is the time that Saquon and Henry both get going and give their teams a push into the playoffs. I still believe in the Ravens' potential when they're healthy, but Lamar Jackson doesn't look right. And they got to get Derrick Henry going.
Yeah, I mean Ravens. A lot of people had the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I know you were one of them. I don't think anybody had them not making the playoffs. The loser of this game is, and I think they play. I think they play the Steelers twice here coming up. I think.
Yeah.
Off memory.
Here's the thing though. Okay. If Baltimore is at full strength, and they go to New England, are you really confident that the Patriots are going to beat them? If they go to Denver, are you really that confident? Baltimore healthy and ready to go.
Yeah.
Is Denver that much better than them? New England that much better than them?
Yeah. I mean, and I think you could exchange the word Baltimore for Buffalo.
Yeah,
and be
Buffalo,
like, I mean, it's like those are toss-up games, and it's whoever brings their egg.
The Colts. I mean, we can't forget about the Colts. But
the Colts haven't been there before. Bills have been there. Bills have been there. Ravens have been there. Patriots have not been there, and Denver's not been there. But they're going to have the advantage of the home field.
Yep. And, you got Vrabel, who's been there as a player, but not as a coach. And you got Sean Payton, who's been there, but not with that team. It's really, really interesting. Ravens are favored by 6. At home field, they say home field is usually 3.
Yeah.
So they think the Ravens are a little bit better and will get the job done. So if you see Ravens, I'm still learning your system.
Yeah.
Ravens favored by 6 at home. Who are they begging you to take?
Well, sometimes there's no bet to be made, or it's not as obvious. And I think this is kind of one of those cases. I mean, obviously they're saying with giving 6 points on two teams that are both 6-6, they're weighing the home field quite a bit more than you regularly would, because, like, to your point, the home field is usually worth 3 points.
Yeah.
So at Baltimore -3, they would be saying this game is a toss-up. At Baltimore -6, they're saying that Baltimore should win and should cover the 6 points. But now if that so you would give. Yeah, that's right on that's a pass. That's a pass for me. Now, if it was Baltimore -6 7.5, they're begging you to take Pittsburgh right there because you're getting the touchdown and the kicker. Then you got to take Baltimore. This one is they've got a strong feeling for Baltimore, but not over, not strong. There's other games to bet. You don't have Stan. You don't have to play every game. Okay, I don't want you to get lost in all this.
I'm not playing any of them. It's entertainment only for me. But I like following it. You know what I mean? I like knowing what people think. But I mean, I'm gonna let them put their money on it. If I'm not involved, I'm not putting my money on it.
Yep. I've won 100% of the bets I never placed.
There you go. All right, Colts and Jaguars, man. If you just looked at this game, right, without seeing the team's records, you'd be like, oh yeah, the Colts are doing better than the Jaguars. No, they're both 8-4. Jaguars have been quietly putting it together.
Yeah, Jacksonville's now in first place in the AFC South, even though they've got the tiebreaker over the Colts, I believe.
Yeah.
Indy's lost 2 straight, 3 of 4. The Jags have won 3 straight. Trevor Lawrence coming off probably his best game, but it was against the Titans. So what do you know from that? Jags are tough to figure out. I mean, they're at times they look like world beaters, and other times it's like, what world are they in? It really comes to Daniel Jones or Trevor Lawrence, and it's like, are those my only 2 choices? Yeah, and like from earlier in here, I like the Texans in this among this group anyway, and they just beat the Colts, so I don't think either of these teams are with the group that we just spoke of. I think they are a level lower, both the Colts and the Jags.
Do you know the last time that Indy had won in Jacksonville? 2014.
Indianapolis.
They have won in Jacksonville since 2014. They've lost 10 straight at Jacksonville.
Wow.
Zaire Franklin
got Daniel Jones now.
Yeah. Zaire Franklin, the coach linebacker, says, hey, man, it's a whole lot of new stuff this year. And so he's like, the old stuff doesn't matter. So he's like, stop bringing up old stuff. So we'll see if they can go in. Colts, they were the darlings early on. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, Colts. Remember you were saying, we never see them on TV. They keep winning every week. We never see them on TV.
Yeah.
Okay, they've dropped 3 out of 4, all close games.
Yeah.
But still, they've dropped 3 out of 4. They have, listen what they have left. Seattle, 49ers, Jaguars again, and then the Texans.
Wow.
So we're going to find out about the Colts here over the final month and change of the season.
Yeah.
So I'm hitching my wagon to Jonathan Taylor and say, okay, fella, let's get us home here. He's been fantastic all season long.
Yeah, I'm hitching my wagon to the Texans.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll see. This is practically a playoff game between the Colts and the Jaguars, because whoever doesn't win that division, and again, you got the Texans in there too, they're going to be fighting in that wild card race. And because there are teams that are underachieving, that wild card race is crazy. Now, let me ask you this.
Okay,
have you officially eliminated the Kansas City Chiefs?
No, you can't. Just because they've earned that right to not be eliminated until the mathematics tell you they are eliminated.
Okay, so they are taking on the Texans, which again, that is a fascinating matchup in Kansas City, which I think adds to the intrigue of it, because you figure that Houston defense, having to deal with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, that makes this matchup even more intriguing. Do the Texans go in there and put the Chiefs out of their misery?
I think they do. I think if Houston was a stock, you'd buy it. If Kansas City was a stock, you'd probably hold it, but you'll wish you would have sold it. And I think all good things must come to an end. And I think the Chiefs' run will. I don't know if I just said if they're not mathematically eliminated, I'm not counting them out. But 6 and 7, they're getting close to that mathematical elimination. And while we were talking gambling, on the chat there, It just disappeared. But Amy Cudler or something like that said the Jags are a must play. So
Okay. Okay.
that
All right. Well,
usually
good luck,
that
Amy. Good luck,
yeah
Amy. Anytime you start saying must in terms of betting,
yeah
they got you. They got you.
yeah yeah
Um,
yeah.
yo,
What do you
here,
think? You think the Texans are going to win at Kansas City?
here's the thing: Kansas City 6-6, but they're 5-1 at home. They've still been the
Okay.
Chiefs at home. It's just they struggled on the road, and it's just hard to figure out. Like last year, it was like a play here, a play there, but they kept winning every time. It'd be a play here, a play there. They kept winning. I was talking to somebody. They said it's still the Super Bowl hangover. Maybe I saw it on TV. That like when they got beaten the way they did physically and mentally by the Eagles in that Super Bowl, they lost their veneer of invincibility. They aren't those Chiefs anymore. And I thought with the emergence of Xavier Worthy, more familiar with the offense now. They added this kid Thornton on the outside, another burner, and then you got Kelsey still there, Rashee Rice, who just get the ball in his hands. You got Hollywood Brown too. I mean, I thought, okay, Mahomes is going to get right back to throwing it down the field and just 13 seconds. That's enough for them to go score the way they did against Buffalo. But it hasn't worked out that way. And again, I go back to quarterback and head coach Andy Reid and Mahomes. That's right there at the top of the list. It's just hard to figure out what's going on with them. It seems like it's just a play here and there that they're just not making that they used to make. But this is going to be really intriguing because, man, Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson and that Texans pass rush, man, they are not messing around. And so I don't know if the Chiefs can run the ball and that'll help them, but that pass rush is no joke. They've won 4 in a row.
Huckleberry Gin Stan says, which first of all, great name, Huckleberry Gin. We used to go huckleberry picking when I was a kid up in the Northwest. He says it feels like a must-win for the Texans, which is an interesting spin on it because they're 7-5, chasing Jacksonville and the Colts, who are both 8-4, and they're going to play each other. I think they all play each other again, and so the Chiefs. That's a good game, Kansas City Texans, because I think Houston's gone up there the last couple of years in playoffs, and played them tight, but obviously hasn't beaten them, or otherwise we wouldn't be talking about the Chiefs in Super Bowls. But I think this is the time the Texans are going to get crushed just because I'm all over them.
Well, here's something else to think about. I'm looking at the injury report. Josh Simmons on injured reserve, their left tackle. Right tackle Trey Smith got ankle problems. Jawan Taylor, their right tackle, another right tackle, has a triceps injury. So Kansas City's going to have 3 fill-ins protecting Mahomes against that Texans pass rush and the number 1 overall defense in the NFL. So that's something to watch for. But Mahomes has been running a lot. It seems like a lot more than he usually. He may have to this week, just to get out of the way of those guys, because that defense looks really good. And we'll see if CJ Stroud can. Is he coming back this week? He back?
CJ Stroud?
Yeah, is he back?
He is. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Last time I saw them, they had Davis Mills in there.
I know. Last time I saw him, he was trying to sell an Applebee's or something to me on TV. I can't remember what it was, but one of those restaurants. Him and Dan Campbell were in an Applebee's commercial. Stroud is back. Huckleberry Gin confirming Stroud is back. DeCon wants to know, Stan, is Drew Brees a top 5 quarterback all time, or have you seen my truth?
I think that's Dennis. That's our old buddy Dennis, I think. Drew Brees is definitely a top 5 quarterback. I mean, give me 5 better all time. Right now, give me 5 better.
All right.
See, you can't do it.
Why Tittle?
No, come on. Stop it.
Johnny Unitas.
Stop it.
Joe Montana.
You got one. You got one, maybe. I mean, if you're going by Super Bowls, I mean, again, it depends on your criteria. Breeze only has one Super Bowl because he got cheated out of one in 2019. 2011,
Tom Brady
could have got another one too.
Tom Brady.
I'll give you Brady. I'll give you Brady, and I'll give you Montana based on Super Bowls. Okay, statistically, Breeze is up there with anybody. Statistically,
how
it's up
about
there with anybody.
Manning, Peyton.
If you gave me the choice between Peyton Manning and Drew Brees, I'm taking Drew Brees.
Okay.
I'm taking Drew Brees. I'll give you Brady and I'll give you Montana. You know, look, there's an argument for Marino.
John Elway.
You give me a choice between Elway and Brees, I'm taking Brees.
Are you really?
Brees. Based on the numbers, I'm taking Brees. Okay. Again, if you're going by Super Bowl wins, okay, you can make an argument for Elway with the 2 Super Bowl wins. I mean, Brady, there's no argument at all there, okay, and Peyton Manning has 2 as well, one with the Colts, one with the Broncos, okay. But if you look at completion percentage, passing yards, passing touchdowns, I mean, you know, as great as he was, first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, I still think Drew Brees for his career is underrated.
What about, would you take Drew Brees over Patrick Mahomes?
That might be Montana, Brady, and Mahomes over the life of all their careers. By the time it's all said and done for Mahomes, I think Mahomes will have a convincing argument that those are the 3 guys ahead of him. Okay, but there's nobody else. He's 4 at worst.
What about Dr. Rogers?
No, I'm not taking Aaron Rodgers. Both got 1 Super Bowl, but body of work, I'm taking Brees over Rodgers.
All right. Blake Bethune says Brees is underrated, no doubt, but don't overrate him based off him being underrated objectively. Ooh.
I like that. Very good. Very good. All right. I think we covered the NFL. Let's move on. We got some other stuff to talk about.
Yeah. LSU. So what do you think? LSU's your team. You got old Lane Kiffin, molder of men. You know what he did, Stan? You know what he did? You know what he did?
Caller of plays. Not molder of men.
You know what he did?
What
he did? He prayed on it.
Yeah.
And so then he got
God
Jesus.
told him
stop.
to go to LSU.
Now,
I need the phone number. If I ever meet him, I'm like, hey man, I need that phone number because I got some stuff I need to ask for too.
Yeah. So my stepdad was a high school basketball coach, and and at one point he coached the Catholic school in Spokane. Goes by the name of Gonzaga Prep. That's where John Stockton went to high school.
Okay.
And so his first game, he'd been a very successful coach at another school. Then he'd gone into finance for a while. Then he came back and coached some more. And so the first game, he's in the locker room, and and so all of a sudden, like the father, who ran the school, I don't know what the official title is, but he came in and he said, Coach, we like to say a little prayer before we go out on the court.
Okay.
And Big Dave, that's my stepdad. Big Dave looks at him and says, "Oh, okay." He goes, "I'm pretty sure God's got bigger things on his mind than our game tonight. But if you want to pray about it, go ahead." And I couldn't help but think about that when Lane Kiffin was, I'm going to go home and pray on it because you know what, the Great Spirit in the sky, that was at the top of his list. Deal with Lane Kiffin. Prayer over whether he should leave Ole Miss in the lurch and go to LSU.
You know what it is?
I mean,
are you familiar with the card game Spades?
Yes, I played that. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's been a while.
the most valuable card in spades is the big joker. You know, like in a deck of
Okay.
cards, you have the little joker and the big
Yeah.
joker.
Okay.
Okay. In spades,
Yeah.
the most valuable card is the big joker. Like you throw the big joker, no other card can beat that card in spades. And I think when people get in a jam and they're being criticized, they throw the big joker. Hey, God made me do this. God told me to do it. And they feel like that's the big joker. It can't be questioned. Okay? That's it. Once I say that, you can't question me. So I think, look, he was under fire. Really under. I think that was that was a mistake to position it that way. Look, maybe he does have the direct line. Maybe that's why his plays work so well, because he's got the direct line to the supernatural. Okay, but I wouldn't bet on it. But look, so he deserves criticism for that. Okay,
Yeah.
he doesn't deserve criticism for taking a better job. Okay, and I'm sorry. I think what really, and I posted this on social media, on my X account, what really bothers the people in Mississippi is that him taking that LSU job when Mississippi has a chance to go to the college football playoff is him saying, as the coach, you're not on LSU's level. Even while LSU's done and we're going to the playoff, I still think this is a better job. And so I'm willing to leave a playoff team right now because I think I'm going to be able to do way better at LSU. Okay. And so, if you're all excited about the season and, you got a chance to go to the playoff, you're having the best season in school history. I mean, that's just really just like a smackdown for your coach to feel that way about the program. But he's looking at it like, yeah, you're having the greatest season ever. You know why? Because you got me. But I'm taking me to LSU, and me at LSU is going to be way better than me here. That's what he's essentially saying. And I think he's right. And I don't just say that because I'm from New Orleans and I've been an LSU fan my whole life. I say it because I know the talent base that there is in Louisiana. And as I've said before, the two best jobs recruiting-wise, historically, and look, with NIL, maybe this changes a little bit, but the two best jobs for recruiting are Ohio State and LSU. And the reason why is because you have great high school football in both states. And you have kids running around in the backyard from the time they're born, dreaming of playing for that one Power 4 school in their state. Okay? There's nobody running around in the backyard in Ohio saying, oh, man, I can't wait till I grow up and play for Akron. Okay? No disrespect to the Zips, but you're not on Ohio State's level. Okay? No kid in Louisiana is running around saying, hey, man, I can't wait till I grow up and play for Nichols. Okay? Every kid is like, I want to play for the Tigers. I want to run through that tunnel at Tiger Stadium on Saturday night. That's what they're dreaming about. So you can recruit in your car in Louisiana and have a top 10 class just with in-state kids. And, Tulane, the last couple of times with Willie Fritz and John Summerall, their last two coaches, they've done a good job of recruiting New Orleans, but they're not getting the 5 stars. Okay. The 5 stars are going to LSU. They're going to Ohio State in their states. And so I don't know if Saban has said this publicly, but Saban is one of Lane Kiffin's most influential mentors. He's mentioned Saban and Pete Carroll. And he says that Saban told him LSU's the best job in the country. I mean, it has everything that you need. And I also said this the other day, I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know. I'm pretty certain that football is not the most important thing that the people in Louisiana should be concerned about. But it is the most important thing that they're concerned about. Now, there's a whole lot of quality of life metrics where Louisiana's way near the bottom, okay? And they should be concerned more about that. I will say that, but they're not. They're concerned about football, and that's what makes it a great place to coach. Now, if you're an educator, Louisiana probably not your place. You know what I mean? If you're an environmentalist, Louisiana probably not your place with all those oil refineries and stuff, okay? But if you're a football coach, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. And so Lane Kiffin's looking at this saying, hey, I'm a football coach. That's where I want to be. And I think it's a bright choice. The other thing is, in the SEC, all the best players are on defense most of the time. Okay, up and down the roster in the SEC, you'll see great players on defense. NFL draft, same thing. Okay, if LSU puts together an offense that is like Lane Kiffin's offenses have been traditionally, look at what they did in 2019 with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Okay, there are more Justin Jeffersons and Jamar Chases. Joe Burrow transferred in, but there are kids in high school right now who are going to be as good as those guys in Louisiana, who are going to go to LSU. And Lane Kiffin's like, I can't wait to get my hands on those classes. Okay. So I think it was a no-brainer for him if that job's open. And people are like, oh, well, he shouldn't leave because they're in the playoff. Okay. LSU said, look, signing day is coming up. Okay. We believe this is the best job in the country. It's open now. You take it now or you don't take it. What are you going to do? Okay. And there are people like, oh, yeah, well, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to leave again to Alabama. Okay, fine. Let's say Alabama is his dream job. I think LSU to Alabama is a lateral move. Wouldn't you say they're about what and what? Would you agree there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so this is not Mississippi to LSU. LSU to Alabama is not Mississippi to LSU. Mississippi to LSU is a step up. Stepping over to Alabama is lateral to me. Okay. Now, if Alabama is his dream job, it's not open right now. Kalen DeBoer has that job. Okay. And unless Alabama, they lose to Georgia in the SEC title game, they fire Kalen DeBoer, they're crazy. He's not going to leave LSU right now after just taking the job to go to Alabama. Okay. That's not going to happen. So Alabama will have to look elsewhere. They'll get a coach. Okay. And if Kiffin does have his job, does have his eyes on that job later on down the line, guess what he has to do to get it?
Got to beat Alabama.
He's got to win at LSU.
Yeah.
So if he goes to LSU and let's say the next 4 or 5 years, he wins 1 or 2 national championships and says, hey, guys, Alabama's open now, and that's my dream job. I'm good with that. As an LSU fan, I'm good with that. You win 1 or 2, you leave after 5 years. I'm good with that. Because the next guy coming in will have all the benefits that help you win one at LSU when you got there.
Why will it work for Lane Kiffin and it did not work for Brian Kelly?
Because I think Lane Kiffin's a better play caller. I think he's gonna put together an offense that is going to put butts in the seats, get the fans energized at Tiger Stadium, capitalize on the talent in Louisiana. I mean, you look at the receivers that have come through there in the last several years. I mean, you go back to Odell Beckham Jr. and Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Jefferson, Chase. I mean, there's just, and I'm telling you, there's more coming up the pipeline. And so you got some great high school programs in Louisiana, and all those kids want to go to LSU. Now, there are people saying, oh, times are different now. NIL era, kids are going to go where the most money is. Guess what? The most money is going to be at LSU too. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be like, hey, I dreamed of playing for LSU all the time, but you know what? LSU doesn't have any money. No. Like I said, football it's food, family, football, faith. I mean, that's what it is there. Okay. And so that's Lane Kiffin understands. He's been around the SEC long enough to know what's going on. And he would not make as drastic a move in terms of leaving a team that looks like it's going to be in the playoff to take that job without knowing what he's going into. Because look, it's a colossal failure if he doesn't get the job done at LSU. He's betting on himself, and he's betting on the championship infrastructure that helped Nick Saban win a national title, and then Ed Ogeron win a national title, and who am I forgetting? And Les Miles win a national title.
Miles.
So you got 3 coaches. And I would say Kiffin, he's not as good as Saban, okay? But I'd take Kiffin over Coach O, and I'd take Kiffin over Les Miles. And I think he's looking at that saying, I can go in there with that talent, with that championship infrastructure in terms of NIL, in terms of the passion, the stadium, the facilities, everything, I can go in there and win one. And I think he's right. I think it's coming within the next 4 years.
All right.
So there's my case on Lane Kiffin. All right.
All right.
Where are we going next?
Well, let's
College
move
football
up to
poll. You got any problems with it?
Well, I mean, listen, Notre Dame gets in because they're Notre Dame, even though Miami beat them. I mean, it's when a guy like Bruce Feldman, Bruce Feldman is just a great college football reporter, writer. When I'm reading him and he's blasting the college football playoff committee, then I know that, he's forgotten more about this than I'll ever know. And it's just, I don't know if 16 team, it's a mess. It's a mess. The conference championship games. I mean, if you're Ohio State and Indiana, I mean, you want to lose one of your star players for the Big 19 or Big 18 conference championship? I don't think
Big
so.
18.
Yeah, because you're going for you want a national championship, not a Big 18 championship.
Did you see what Kalani Sitake said? The coach
no,
of BYU.
What did he say?
He said, if you are in the college football playoff field, okay, in contention, but you're not in your championship game in your conference, you should have to play a 13th game just to make it fair. You know what I mean? Because the teams in the you got nothing to do but, like you said, to lose. There's not a lot for you to gain in the conference championship game, except seeding. I mean, seeding.
Yeah, but look at Ohio State, Indiana. Is the loser of that going to fall out of the top 4? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think they should.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think they should either. And if Georgia loses to Alabama, Georgia could fall out of the top 4, I guess. But who. I mean, obviously I'm rooting for the Ducks. They're at 5. I think they want to stay at 5. I don't think they want to get in the top 4. That last year, the 4 teams that were 1, 2, 3, and 4 all lost their first game.
I mean,
because they were so rusty.
Turn my computer down. All right. Sorry.
No worries.
These ads popping up. Look, here's the disaster, though. If Duke beats Virginia in the ACC championship game, okay, Duke's getting in at 8-5.
No, Duke won't get in.
Okay,
because of where they're ranked. So the ACC will. You could either pick Miami or ACC could be completely shut out. That's how I understand it. I may be wrong.
So it's top five conference champions, right?
Unless your conference champion is ranked lower than, and I don't know how to finish that sentence, but Duke is going to be ranked so low, they're not going to get in.
Okay.
If they win.
Okay, so your ACC champion is not in. Okay. So then
it could be I think it could be if it's Virginia. It won't be if it's Duke.
Okay, so then you got James Madison at 25 playing Troy, and Tulane at number 20 playing North Texas who's 24. Okay, so the top group of 5 champion gets in, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be either Tulane or JMU, I believe. I wish I could.
What if Troy beats James Madison? Troy's 8-4.
Yeah, they're not getting in. If they're not on the list right here, there's no chance they're getting in.
So they got to root for Virginia to keep the integrity of this. Where's Virginia? Oh, it's 7. Well,
I want to see if Texas is going to get
17.
In. That's Texas. Miami is interesting. BYU and Texas Tech. That's interesting. Will they take 2 out of? If BYU beats Texas Tech, does only BYU get in and Texas Tech falls from 4?
No, they both got to get in.
Okay, but then who's out? I mean, if Alabama loses to Georgia, or is Alabama out with 3 losses?
Yeah.
And they get screwed for playing a conference championship game.
Yeah,
not that I'm going to
exactly. That's the dilemma. That's the dilemma. I think if you're going to do it this way, maybe you have to get rid of the conference championship games. The other thing is they're not going to get rid of the conference championship games because of the money.
Yeah. So
but
they got to
if you're
figure
going to do it
something
this
out.
way, you can't penalize teams that lose in their conference championship.
Yep.
So, and then if you go to 16, it's like, okay, now you add another week. And I saw one of the coaches who said, look, if based on the academic calendar, if you're going to continue doing things this way, playing the season out this way, you have to, week 0 has to be week 1 in August. Because he said you shouldn't be playing the championship game on January 9th or whatever it is. He's like, you're into the second semester at that point. And, you solve a lot of these problems with signing day because you make sure that like seasons are over before signing day. So you don't run into this problem with the coaches flipping, leaving potential playoff teams to go to other schools because they have to start recruiting immediately. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, going back to Lane Kiffin, one other thing with Lane Kiffin. I think Mississippi actually absolutely made the right move not letting him coach.
No,
I think he was delusional to think you're going to leave me for a conference rival and then I'm still going to let you coach. When guys could be coming off the field in the playoff game, hey, son, that was a great play you made there. We're going to really enjoy having you next year at LSU, I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So
even God said you can't do that. Yeah.
God said, Lane, I'm going to give you this. You should take the LSU job, but I'm not going to allow you to coach at Mississippi. Sorry, I've spoken.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's talk one NBA game and then we got to roll because I'm running out of breath here.
All right.
What do you make? And I know you're involved with the organization, so it's kind of like when I was involved. We had this little dilemma earlier with the Trailblazers.
Yep.
What do you make of this Chris Paul situation? Because this is very soap opera-ish.
Yeah. Full disclosure, those of you who may not know, I do the Clippers pregame, halftime, and postgame show. Same thing Neil does for the Blazers. Look, it's unfortunate. The most unfortunate part about it is that he's a Hall of Famer, probably the most important player in the history of the franchise, and for it to end like this is really bad. But I think there were obviously some communication issues because he says that he tried to get a meeting with Ty Lue and couldn't get a meeting with Ty Lue. So that's his side of the story. The Clippers are basically saying it was an organizational decision. They're not pinning any of the blame on him, but they just kind of felt like he had, I don't know if they said this, but reports were that he was disruptive to the team. Chris is a very competitive guy, and he's been on a lot of really, really good teams. And I think most of all that this is just one of the symptoms of losing. If the Clippers are 16-5, I don't think this happens. At 5-16, I think, the media sessions have become kind of contentious with people, going at Ty Lue, and he says, hey, man, we have to play better. Okay, you keep saying that. Play better. But what does that mean? Who has to play better? What has to change? So people are looking for scapegoats. Not saying the Clippers were looking for a scapegoat because I don't think that's what it came down to. I just think it kind of came down to, look, we're trying all sorts of different things. So the Clippers' main problem is they're an older team. Okay. And so Ty Lue's been trying to inject some youth into their lineups and playing some of the younger guys, Kobe Brown, Kobe Sanders, Jordan Miller, Christie, Cam Christie. So in trying to work that youth into the lineup, somebody's got to come out of the lineup. Derrick Jones Jr. has been hurt. Bradley Beal's out for the season. So he's trying to work these young guys in, get them some reps. Okay, well then Chris Paul's not going to be in the lineup as much. So there was a stretch for a couple of weeks where Chris Paul didn't play at all, because they needed to get younger. And so I think it was just a lot of unfortunate things that all coalesced under.
Big word. I like that. Coalesce.
They all coalesced with the cloud of losing over it. That just had everybody on edge and just kind of everybody's looking for solutions and everything. And, I don't have any more details than that, but I would say there was a communication problem, and maybe the Clippers said they were very clear with Chris about what his role would be, that he might not be an every night player, and maybe Chris was okay with that in his mind to begin, and then once the season started, maybe I don't know. I'm just looking at things that may have caused it, but whatever it was, that was the final thing. I think it's unfortunate. I don't think he's done though. I think he's still got enough left in the tank based on what he did in San Antonio last year. He started all 82 games last year for the Spurs.
Yeah.
So I don't think the drop off was that far from last year to this year where, nobody will be interested. I think people will be interested. It's just a matter of, he's got a son who I understand is a really, really good player, and he's missed a lot of his games. I don't know if he just says, hey man, I'm done. I'm going to go coach my son and watch his games. Or if he says, hey, this is not the way I want to go out. I want to finish up this last season with maybe somebody who's a contender. I mean, Houston lost Fred VanVleet. They could probably use a veteran point guard on their bench. So there's some places I think where he could talk to him and maybe figure something out, because I don't think he's done in terms of having no value left as a player. But we'll see. But I hate to see it end this way with the Clippers, because he's you go to Clippers games, you still see a whole lot of threes, on jerseys in that building. And so it's unfortunate that it ends this way.
Huckleberry Gin says, bring Chris back to the Rockets. And Blake Bethune says, he's got to sign with the Rockets or Thunder, right? I don't think he's signing with the Thunder.
What's their backup situation there? They got their backcourt. They got Wiggins. They got Shea.
Every guy can play point for them.
Yeah,
I think
AJ Mitchell.
Chet Holmgren could play point for them.
Isaiah
They're
Joe.
So good.
Yeah, they got a look. You never know. He's got some history with the organization. You never know. They might say, hey, look, but with them, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. If I'm OKC, I'm not making any moves.
Yeah, and OKC's only lost one game this season.
I know that. 21-1. Unbelievable. Hey, let's talk Giannis.
Who'd they lose to?
Portland. I see what you did there.
Oh, okay.
All right, Giannis, real
Rip
quick.
City, baby. Okay, Giannis. Okay, on the count of three, and we haven't rehearsed this. Okay. We're gonna say what team he should go to.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. San Antonio.
Spurs.
Oh!
There you go.
That's it.
Here's the thing. San Antonio has some good young players. They got a glut in their backcourt. They got De'Aaron Fox, they got Stephon Castle, and they got Dylan Harper. All three really, really attractive trade bait. Okay. Yeah. But I talked to Sean Elliott the other day. He does the Spurs games. I talked to him on the FanDuel Sports Network show. He said Dylan Harper is the best finisher at the rim he has seen that he can remember. Sean Elliott. Okay, this is not just anybody saying this. It's Sean Elliott. He said, hey, look, I played with Manu. I played with Tony Parker. He's like, and I've seen all these other guys. He's like, Dylan Harper. So I would think the Spurs are like, Harper's off limits. So it comes down to, you want to trade Castle, who was rookie of the year last year, right?
Yeah. Well, are you saying you wouldn't trade aside from Wemby? Because if you're Milwaukee, you're going to be like, no, we're taking your best player, not named Wemby. You're not getting Giannis.
They're not trading Wembanyama. And it sounds to me like, from what Sean Elliott was saying, they believe in Harper to the point where he's not up either. So it's going to be Castle or De'Aaron Fox. And whatever else, Devin Vassell or, somebody else, some other guy and some picks. I don't know what San Antonio has in terms of picks. But the crazy part about picks is that, like, teams stockpile picks and then they just trade them to other teams, and nobody ever uses the picks. It's like picks they just float around in the ether somewhere, except for Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City has 3 lottery picks right now.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. Crazy. And
all right,
in addition to the 3 lottery picks, they don't have to. They can be very specific about what they want. Like, what is the specific thing that we need? We don't need, like, look, there's no payroll left for superstars, okay? We got to pay Shea. We got to pay Jalen Williams. We got to pay Chet Holmgren. No money left for superstars. So we're picking you here for a very specific purpose as a role player, even though you're a lottery player. You know what I mean? It's a tremendous luxury they have, man. Tremendous. Or they can trade the picks and get a player.
Tremendous luxury we've given our listeners today is we've gone 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
We don't want you to expect this on a regular basis, because I blacked out about 30 minutes ago, and I'm not quite sure what we've been talking about ever since. God told us to keep going. And when she talks, we listen. All right. Well, listen, we're going to be back. I think we're coming back next Wednesday. You'll get an alert when we definitely pick whatever day that's going to be. But this has been a good fun, good show. Stan, final thoughts.
I'm going to watch football.
Big game tonight. Loser ain't making the playoffs. God, go Lions.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Hit it, Coach D.
Let's go.
How's it? Do you know what time it is?
Let's go.
The Stan and Neil Show. 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 With Stan. Oh, Stan, he's the man. And who's Stan's biggest fan? Well,
It's Neil.
and Neil, oh Neil, he keeps it real. And that's why Neil's the deal. Stan and Neil back together again, spreading the love with all their old friends.
Let's go.
Stan and Neil back together for you, keeping it cool, 'cause cool's our rule. The Stan and Neil Show. 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 The Stan and Neil Show.
Yeah. All right, let me hear it all back. See what we got so far.
So, shout out to Coach D for the jingle, the Stan and Neil jingle.